Okay. So we are starting now. Okay, so we are quickly going over what we studied, what we looked at last month. And if you have any questions, again, I cannot see the chat. So please unmute yourself and say any questions that you might have. Okay, from last week, again, my name is Sharon. I'm Sharon DePerry, and I am not, let me say it again, I am not a financial advisor or financial consultant. I have, however, been called by God to teach finance, and it's not what you call it? It's through trial and error while being homeless and through financial catastrophe and successes. Anyone who doesn't know my story, again, my family was homeless, 4 people, 2 dogs, and 1 little turtle living in a car, right? And I started saving with 8 cents and amassed over $10,000 still while homeless. So I've been through the process with God so I can teach through the stuff I've been through. Again, what we studied last week. I'm going over this real fast because we covered it last month, actually. Why do I keep saying last week? Last month, okay? 5 things you should do to save money: read, learn, and try to understand, right, what you read, right? Because if you don't understand it, how can you apply it? Know who you are and what you want, and you're gonna, for people who are new, might wondering what do you mean who you are and what you want, you will find out later on as we move forward. You come up with a strategy, implement the strategy, and of course you must teach your children to implement these strategies, because if you do not teach your children, statistically, wealth, riches only last for 3 generations. And if you do not want to repeat the cycle in your bloodline, you must. That's why there's an exclamation, a star on number 5. This is extremely important, not only statistically, but biblically. It's proven they only last 3 generations if you do not teach your kids. Okay, so we are your Worth Foundation. Again, we care about your wealth and your health. We're not for profit, and we are a ministry. So we do minister also. Do not leave your finances to chance, because a lot of times Christians, we put a lot of things in God, but our finances, we are afraid to place it in God. And it's extremely important, because everything was made by him and for his glory. And everything in the earth and everything that is working in the earth is for his glory, right? Know your risk. So remember when I was talking about know yourself, and this applies to that. Know your risk profile. I talked about this last month. And wealth gained hastily, according to Proverbs 13:11, will dwindle, meaning decrease, get away from you, fly away. But whoever gathers little by little, right, will increase it. Let me move this little screen down. Okay, you have to figure out if you're a conservative, moderate, or aggressive investor, and you're going to find out what that means. If you were not here, my cursor keeps disappearing on me for some reason. Okay, here it is. Okay, are you willing to take high risk, right? Are you willing to take moderate risk? Are you willing to take low risk? Are you a person that wants to put the money in the market? and let it work for you? Or are you the person that wants to visually watch the market to see how it moves after you do your investigation on the companies that you're investing in? Are you passive, right? Or are you an active investor? And you need to know this about yourself, right? And if you don't know this about yourself, only use money that you're willing to lose. Again, this is very important. Only use money that you're willing to lose, especially if you want to take higher um, returns, because the higher the returns, the greater the volatility. The higher the returns, the greater the volatility. Index funds, ETFs,
Finished.
are friendly. Can someone mute their
Yes, I'm finished with your hair.
can someone mute? Are you a dividend investor?
What do you call me?
Aaliyah, can you mute your mic? Diversify your investments. According to Ecclesiastes 11:2, divide your portions to 7 or even to 8, for you do not know what misfortune may occur on earth. Do not put your money to chance. You have to research and know the companies that you are investing in. Okay? Depending on your risk profile that we said, you put your money into different funds, right? And also consult a financial expert to help to build your portfolio. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm saying that again. Find a financial expert. That's why I only teach the basics, even though I myself invest in more than the basics, right? I have many different types of stocks and funds out there. However, since I am not certified, I only teach the basics. All right. Okay, like I said, invest idle cash. And you're probably saying that you don't have idle cash. Trust me, you have idle cash. Because everyone has those moments where they feel like they should treat themselves to something on the TikTok shop, the Instagram. I don't know what the store on Instagram called, whatever the Instagram store is called. But people usually say the TikTok shop. And Amazon Prime days, knowing that you don't need those things, but because they said that there's a sale, you purchase those things. It is not necessary, because one of the best things you can do for yourself is to have your money working for you. Your money are little laborers, your little employees, and you put them to work. No one wants to train an employee and the employee leaves immediately, because that is costly for any business. And you should treat your money and your accounts like companies. Okay. Oh, I want to thank, this is what I put in here. I want to thank everyone who has donated thus far. So we are able to do these free events every single month. I thank you guys so much, especially since our market is low to extremely low, persons and families, and the fact that you've donated means a lot. Just like the woman with had the two mites, right? And she gave all that she had, right? Jesus said that she gave more than the ones who had many. All right. So she put her faith in God. So all of you guys who donated and to our company, I want to take the time and thank you guys, so we can continue to help low, extremely low people and families. Okay, so we went over this last month. I'm quickly going over this. Are you a buy and holder? Do you want to buy and hold these monies? And what is a medium risk? It's for long-term investors, long-term meaning over 1 year. And it's usually associated with 401ks and IRAs. Do anyone on here have a 401k or an IRA?
Yes.
Okay. I also opened an IRA, even though I don't work for someone else. I work for myself and for God. I opened my IRA with Charles Schwab. So you do not have to be working for someone, a company, in order for you to open one of these accounts. Okay, are you a dollar cost average investor? This is low to medium risk. This is for anyone who does not want to time the market. Time the market meaning that you think the market is going to do this over this amount of time, almost like options trading, day trading, that type of thing, time in the market. If you do not want to do that, which is very intense, doing that type of trading, and you're more relaxed person and do not want to be on your whatever platform you're using, you are a dollar cost average person, and this is a person that would have their bank account set, right, to either send $100 every month to the brokerage account you're using. It doesn't matter if it's Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard, uh, all these, Robin Hood, the list goes on and on. You can also set up the actual brokerage to retrieve $100 or $50 or $10, whatever it is, every single month from that account. You are not looking, right, into how the market for that specific index fund, that specific company is moving every single day. You are just building this account. Are you an index investor? Do you think you're low to medium risk, right? Do you want to put minimal effort into your investing? Well, this includes index and ETFs, right? Anyone who's spoken to me in person, especially really young people, I mean, it's for anyone, but usually younger people ask me this question so they can start investing. I always tell them about the S&P 500 in investing and putting a percentage of their pay into the S&P 500, even if you only make enough to put $5, because like I said, I started saving with 8 cents. So if you have $5 and you can do that every pay period, depending on how you're paid, you can do this and put it in to the S&P 500. What I personally like to do right now, I am in the process of building, which means I reinvest dividends from companies that I have partial ownership with. I'm trying to think because it's a lot of companies. Microsoft, um, AT&T, what's the other ones? It's a list that I have. I have the S&P 500 also, but I actually have individual stocks as well. And I have the dividends to be reinvested to continue to build, right? How much equity I have in or ownership in these companies. Okay, are you a dividend investor? This is my main area personally for me. I'm not suggesting for you to take this route. I'm just telling you that with me, my goal is to do dividend investing. That's my goal. Even though I know several people that do stocks, and they're encouraging me to do options because you can um gain money faster. You can also lose money faster. And I'm not really in that space right now that I want to do options. I'm just not in that space. And I will not be teaching options because that is not one of the basic principles of investing. It is not. So I will not be teaching options. Um, I look at options. I look at blockchain. I look at the trends. I look at all of these things. However, I myself do not have actual any of my money in options. I just study it and follow it until I feel like, but right now, no. Okay. So my thing, dividend investing, right, is low to medium risk, right? And it's suitable for those who want a regular income. So if you're one of those people that have a retirement account and you're to that age that you can move that retirement account out, right? You can put it into investing and have the dividends coming out to you if you're at that age for retirement. If you're not at that age for retirement and you just have money, let's say that you inherited money, God blessed you with money from however God bless you, because he does whatever he wants to bless people. I highly suggest for you to find how to make the money grow. Do not go on a shopping spree. Please do not do that, because you are going to end up in the same spot you started before that situation. This is a form of steady income. This is what I like. This is actually passive. When you hear on social media people talking about passive, this is passive. This is actually what it means to be passive. You put your money in, let's say you have $10,000, $20,000 and you put it in and you get dividends from that account, meaning when the company makes money, makes a profit, and they have the gross profit and the next net profit, meaning after they've paid everything that they have to pay, overhead costs, employee, blah, 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 all the stuff they have to pay, the monies that's left over, they distribute it to the owners. So when you purchase stock, you are now part owner of said company, and they will pay you, and you can live off of that. And that is my goal. Even though I have businesses, even though I do consulting as a housing strategist, even though I do affordable housing, I prefer to have multiple streams of income, which include dividend distributions. Okay. Are you a growth investor? Okay. A growth investor, it sounds nice, right? However, you have to realize that it is higher returns, but higher volatility, meaning it's very unstable. It can be up 1 minute and drop the next. And it can close. So the company that you believe will progress in the future might be a company that falls under, and they have to liquidate their business and shut it down. And you have just lost your money. So this usually goes with technology and biotech companies. I'm going to be honest with you because this is your What the Foundation of Ministry. I have technology companies. However, I do not have it as a large part of my portfolio for a reason, because I understand that it can be very, very volatile. I will not say what type of technology and biotech I own, because people will be shocked. But I do have technology and biotech. One of the technology is Tesla. Everybody knows Tesla. Everyone knows Tesla. Everyone in the United States knows Elon Musk. That's one of the technology companies. You can make money, you have high returns. However, it is very unstable. So you have to weigh the risk, which means you have to know yourself. Now, this is where we stopped last month. Let me see how I'm doing with time. Okay, good. I'm doing good. Okay. One thing you have to do once you start building your portfolio is not get lackadaisical with your portfolio. Please do not get lackadaisical. Some people get lackadaisical after they meet a certain amount of income. And I'm going to tell, because they said that that's enough for them. I'm going to tell you what God told me many, many, many years ago. It's selfish. Let me say it again. It is selfish. You know, like, how is it selfish that you don't want any more money? Hold on. I'm going to explain right now. It's selfish because the Bible lets us know that the poor we're going to have with us always. Right? There's always going to be people that are poor. No matter what you do, there's always going to be people that's poor. That's just the way how it is, for many reasons why there'll be people that are poor. Now, if you feel like you have enough money and you can stop, right? You are not thinking about the fact that this riches and this wealth, by the grace of God, even if you don't believe in God, is by the grace of God. It doesn't matter if you believe or not. By the grace of God, have allowed you to attain, right? You should looking for ways to help someone else. Now, it doesn't necessarily always mean to give the person money, because I know a lot of people think it means to give the person money. No. Some people actually teach what they've learned to gain wealth, right? So they use their money because they're no longer working, but their money is working for them. So they're not physically working for the money. So they're getting the money passively, right? And they use because they're still alive. So it costs money to be alive on this earth. So you're gonna need the money. So what they do is invest in someone else or some people. And not only that, they set themselves up so their families can have riches and wealth for generations and generations. And it is their responsibility to teach it to their children, have their children implement those things, right? And teach it to their grandchildren. And if they're alive long enough to see their great grandchildren, to teach it to their great grandchildren, and everyone is on the same page, because then it will transfer over and over and over and over and continue, and it will continue to grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger, which means you can help more and more and more and more and more people. That's why stopping is selfish. That's why stopping is selfish. I hope everyone understood that explanation of why stopping after you reach a certain amount is selfish. Keep on investing, okay? Investing for your idle cash over time can increase your investment portfolio, its value, right? And also it will be able, oh, let me just say something else. If you're the type of person like me that reinvest some of your dividends, you do not have to take out, especially if you have multiple ownerships of companies like I do, you do not have to take dividend from every single company. You don't have to do that. You do not have to do that. You can take dividends from a certain amount based on your cost of living, and then you can reinvest the other dividends to continue growth. Okay. It is best to keep your portfolio longer because of taxes. It is best to keep, let me just say it again. It is best to keep your portfolio longer because of tax implications, right? When you keep your portfolio short, under 12 months, it has a higher tax responsibility on you. So it's highly suggested to keep it longer. Some people really want the money, so they still, they're willing to pay the tax, or they have another way to reduce that tax, which is another thing, because I'm not a tax attorney, even though I know those things, I'm not going to explain it on here. You will have to look into someone that's a professional on those areas. Okay, like I said, this is me. This was not when I was homeless. It's not. This is me on vacation, right? The first picture, like I said, homeless in a car. You can't see the turtle because the turtle is on the dashboard getting sun, because turtles are cold-blooded animals and they need sun to keep their energy up and everything. So you can't see the turtle. But in the trunk part of my vehicle, you see our two dogs, and you can't see everyone because people are scattered in the car. Some people are outside. Even though we were homeless, I'm going to tell you right now, we had fun. We had periods of fun. We did a lot of outside grilling, burgers, hot dogs. It was something. It depends on your disposition, right, of your situation, because it will not last always, assuming that you're doing what you're supposed to do to get out of it. Now, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, then that's a whole nother story that we're not covering. Okay, so I went from homelessness with this blue, with my cursor is moving around. I went on vacation, which was amazing. I enjoyed myself greatly. And we went to Disney World. And everybody who's been to Disney World know that Disney World is a money pit. I mean, if you went with, let me just say this, since I'm talking about investing and I'm going to be going over saving in January. I'm going to start back with saving because that is tax time. And I want to stop people and encourage people to not waste all of their tax money. If you want to waste some of it, that's fine. Not all of it. Please allocate, right, a certain amount of your monies for vacation. Please allocate a certain amount of your monies for vacation. Do not. I know we're talking about investing right now and not saving, because I'm going to do that in January. But let me give you guys a prelude right now. Do not keep the monies in the same account. Do not keep the money in the same account. Separate those monies, because once you have your daily living account and it drops to a level that you're uncomfortable with, you will stop, hopefully, you will stop spending frivolous amounts of money. Yes, we have bills, and that's another thing. I'm not going to talk about housing strategies because that's another story, but I am a housing strategist, but that's another story. I'm not going to cover that here. There's ways to reduce even that, but we're not talking about that. So if I can do it, you can do it as well. 8 cents got us from here all the way to here. And if anyone ever been to Disney World, they already know. In Florida, not Disneyland, because I've never been to Disneyland in California, but Disney World in Florida knows it's very, very expensive. Okay, some of the tips and insights. Invest your idle cash. So if you see something on the TikTok shop and it looks interesting, and you do not need it, because there's a difference between needing something and wanting something. If you do not need it, because remember, we're trying to see the bigger picture, right? So we have to make a little bit of sacrifices now, right? Do not buy it. Please invest that money, because a lot of time people are like, oh, this is only $10. Do you know how far $10 can take you if you invest it in the right vehicle? Know your risk profile. How much risk are you willing to take? Are you low risk, medium risk, high risk? You have to keep on investing. And that's why some of my stock holdings, I have to reinvest dividends. Diversify your investments. So if you want to get a little bit into technology, right? You can get a little bit into technology, realizing it's high risk. So let me just say that. You can get into commodities, which is electrical, gold, silver, stuff like that. I used to have gold. I forgot what year it was. Can't remember. It was a while back. I sold those positions in gold for some other stocks. And also remember that there is risk. So only invest monies, right, that you're willing to lose. Does anyone here remember Kmart? Does anyone remember Kmart? Anybody remember Kmart? Or Payless?
Yes, I remember both. And Woolworth.
So these were big company. I mean, they had stores upon stores upon stores upon stores. And a person might think that's why God said what he said in Ecclesiastes, to divide your investments into 7. He said, even into 8, because you do not know what is going to happen on the earth. Because a company might be big and profitable for years. I mean, years and years and years and years and years. And then all of a sudden, down. And what's going to happen to your investment? Gone, because they had to use it to try to save the company, but they couldn't save the company. So do not put more faith in a company than you do in God. If you feel like something, maybe I should take my money out of here, right? Go to God, ask God about it. He cares about that money, and present it to God. Because listen, there is a reason you're feeling the way how you're feeling about a company. There's no company too big that cannot fall. I mean, a lot of people will tell you, some companies have this trend of lasting for years and years, and that might be true. However, times change, and so will that profit. I'm gonna let you know right now. Okay, so one thing we have to cover is risk management. I use these myself. I'm telling you this because I use this myself. We have a stop loss order and a limit order. So a stop loss order, you put in the amount that you do not want it to drop below. Let's say, for example, right now, Bitcoin, because I was just checking my cryptos. Right now, Bitcoin, well, at least what time is it? 35 minutes ago. Bitcoin was over $102,000, right, per share. And a stop loss order is if Bitcoin you put in on the brokerage in your laptop, tablet, phone, whatever you're using, you put in that if Bitcoin drops below whatever you do not want to drop. So 35, 40 minutes ago, it was 102. And you want to sell your position in Bitcoin, or you want to sell your shares in Bitcoin if it goes to $101,000 per share. So remember, I said it was 102,000. And you want to sell it if it hits 101 because you want to be able to stop how much money you lose in your position, right? So you put it in the app, and the app is the one that's watching it for you. So you're not up looking at Bitcoin go up and up and up. No, the app watches it for you. The brokerage app watches it for you. And most of the time, I'm saying most for a reason. I'm going to tell you why I say most. Most of the time, it's going to sell your position, the amount you want to sell. Because some people sell all, some people sell some. It depends on what you're trying to do. It sells the amount that you want to sell when it gets to 101, because you don't want, if Bitcoin drops lower than that, that's a lot of money that you can lose if you have a lot of money in Bitcoin, and you do not want to take that risk, right? So you have the stop loss order. I hope I explained it so you guys understood what I just explained, to stop the loss of the stock dropping out of your account, right? And a limit order, you can buy, right, at a certain amount, or you can sell at a certain amount. What I do, oh, I gotta drink some water. With the limit order, I am looking for a certain dollar amount. I'm going to use Bitcoin just because I use Bitcoin for stop loss order, right? I am looking for Bitcoin. This is not what I'm doing in real life. This is just an example, so let me just say that right. I am looking for Bitcoin to hit $105,000. And when Bitcoin hits $105,000, right, I want it to sell the amount I tell it to sell, because I want to collect my profits from that gain. I want to collect my profits from that gain. So again, Bitcoin 102,000, right? I have a limit order. I want it to hit 105. And when it hits 105, most of the time, I'm saying most, and I'm going to explain why I'm saying most, because it's the same for stop loss and limit order. It is going to sell the amount I want it to sell, so I can gain profit and take my profit. Stop loss, I want to stop how much money I lose, right? Limit order, I can collect my profits and either invest it into something else or do whatever you want to do with the profits. But the reason I say most, right, is because sometimes, especially with crypto is very volatile. So I'm going to say that crypto is extremely volatile on the most part. So one day, crypto can be a dollar stock, and then something happens with the people that's purchasing. People start purchasing like crazy, right? The value of that crypto will shoot up fast, right? And when it shoots up fast, you might have an amount that you're looking for, and because the speed of it moving, the computer is slow to sell because it's moving so fast, it skips past that number that you are looking for. So, and that is the same with stop loss order. You have Bitcoin as an example, right? And you want a stop loss order. So you want to make sure you do not lose more than if it gets to 101,000. You only want that gap between 101 and 102. Once it hits to 101, you want to sell, so you prevent how much money you lose, right, in your profits. So the same thing can happen. It can drop so fast. This is especially important with crypto. So I need you to pay very close attention. This is especially important with crypto. I know this for a fact because I have other cryptos and it moves like that. It moves quickly, right? And when it drops so fast in this example of stop loss order, it can drop past the 101 and drop to 80,000. And 80,000 and 101, that's a big gap. That's a whole $30,000 between those two. And the computer, right, in the brokerage won't be able to respond because of how fast it moves. So you can end up losing more than you put in to your brokerage account in these examples. You can lose more than you expect, but you can also gain more than you expect. So it is volatile. Okay. I want to thank you guys again. Am I making good time? Because I only got 9 minutes. Oh, time flies. Okay. I want to thank you guys again. I want to have time for anyone to ask questions. Again, I want to thank everyone who has donated, and for anyone who would like to donate, please click the PayPal. We do not keep any personal information, and we do that on purpose because we do not want anyone's bank information. We do not we want none of it. We don't want to be responsible for it. So we use an outside company to deal with that, outside large company that can handle it. So does anyone have any, wait, let me pause this. Let me stop it.